Katharine Young is joining us for the first time and is going to be teaching the philosophy of the senses.
Good morning. The philosophy of the senses addresses seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling, not as biological faculties, but as cultural practices. Each culture categorizes the senses differently. Each sense organizes the perceptual world differently, and each perceiver experiences the senses differently. So the way we perceive the world varies from sense to sense, time to time, and culture to culture. We could think of the perceptual organs as having two ends. One end intrudes into the body, and the other end protrudes into the world. At the body's surface, the organs rupture through cuts in the skin, eye slits, lips, or they tunnel holes from the surface to the interior, ear canals, mouths, nostrils. Or in the case of touch, the sensory organ is the skin. From the skin in, impressions get translated into electrochemical signals conducted to the brain, where they, as it were, open themselves up again and present us with the outside on the inside. From the skin out, the perceptual organs extend the body out into the world along its sensory modalities and present us, open us up to the world. The senses are the part of the body that is inside out. It's where the body touches the world. So we acquire from the inner space, we acquire inner spaces to think with and outer spaces to move into. What we're going to be doing for the course is looking at, each person will keep a sensory journal, which will be brief notes of a specific experience of tasting something, smelling something, touching something. And we will be collecting those in the course and talking about the highly intense, reflective, attentive experience of what the senses are like, what sensing is like. There will be readings, I provide you with readings from philosophy, anthropology, folklore, thank you. But what we will be thinking about is variations in the patterning of the senses influence social organization, conceptions of the self and the cosmos, the regulation of the emotions. At different periods of Western history, there have been fewer than 5 senses or more than 5 senses. How are the senses going to be divided? The Hausa of Nigeria, for example, have only 2 senses. What would they be if they're going to only have 2? The Western sensorium is highly biased towards visuality, but some cultures privilege smell, for example, as the predominant highest order sense. Sensory symbolism. Sight could be connected with either witchcraft or reason. Taste can be used as a metaphor for aesthetic discrimination or for sexual experience. Odor might signify sanctity or sin, political power or social exclusion. Sensory metaphors, as when we say, for example, that an idea stinks, can evoke by sensory affiliations the meaning of an idea. Altogether, these sensory values and meanings form the sensory model held by a society, according to which its members make sense of the world. So our project here is to look at how we make sense of the world, how the senses, the variation of the senses over historical time, the transformation of the senses through time, and the experience of the senses in the body. I'll hope you will join me on Tuesday mornings for this class. Thank you.
Thank you, Katharine. Great.